Good morning, everybody. So I decided today to record this video in my backyard. So excuse the birds; they decided to get really loud now and noisy. So anyway, it's part of God's creation, the beautiful animals, which I love hearing, and I love just sometimes just sitting out here on my deck and just enjoying my yard and watching the birds and my bird in the bird feeder that I have in the back, and it's very beautiful. And especially I love when I see the Cardinals or the Blue Jays come by. It's really beautiful. So what I want to talk to you guys about today, I know I haven't been posting as many videos as I used to in the past. There's been some things going on, and I'm trying to find myself, I guess, in a way. And I'm not talking about myself as a Christian or as a person. I'm more or less talking about in regards to a career path. I'm undecided. Do I want to just semi-retire and start collecting some of my benefits, collecting of my retirement funds? I don't know. I don't know yet. I haven't decided, but or do I want to pursue something else? Right now, I'm leaning towards possibly getting into public speaking. That's something that I've always wanted to do. I've gained a lot of knowledge. I don't know about wisdom, maybe some wisdom, but a lot of knowledge in a lot of different areas throughout life, especially in leadership, and especially in motivational speaking. I worked as a personal trainer. I played soccer in high school throughout my youth. I was a soccer coach for at least 12 years to my kids, and obviously the kids on the team. I was a soccer rep for over 15 years. I've been involved in leadership groups. I've managed for over 35 years, and I've seen a lot of people manage that really shouldn't be in management positions or in leadership positions. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. So I've gained a lot of experience. I've worked in many different fields, many different industries. I worked at beer distribution facilities. I've worked at danceware facilities. I've worked in utilities, the water company. I've worked in so many different fields and jobs. But as I look at it now, I believe that the Lord did all this for a purpose. And as I lost my job in the beginning of April on my birthday, as I mentioned before, I found myself turning the book of my life and finding nothing written there. The next chapter, it's empty. There's nothing there. But I believe that's a gift from the Lord, that the Lord's allowing me to go and do something that He is planning for me, something that I desire or want to do. So I keep praying and asking Him to lead me and guide me in hopefully this new direction, this new chapter. I always say, Lord, the page is a blank. May your hand be the pen. May you have the pen that writes my next chapter. And so that's how it should be. We should always trust and rely on the Lord. And I look at what got me to the point. Well, I think about how I was let go unjustly with no reason at all. I wasn't given a reason why I was let go, why, I no longer had my job. And at first, it was my human instinct and my human feelings that kicked in. I was not angry, but I was kind of bitter, and I kept weighing the should I go and try to see there's some legal counsel, something that I could pursue my former employer for, because every single email that I had nothing but great things said about me in my emails. Never was I written once. Never was I warned about being late or not doing whatever I was expected to do. I mean, I was what I would consider, a good employee. So anyway, so I was thinking about that. I was bitter and angry, and I'm like, oh, I should, so I'm listening to people, and, I'm turning to my wife and close family members and listening to them. And obviously everybody has their own opinion, but I admire my wife because I said to her what I was going to do, and she's like, yeah, whatever you want to do, I'll support you 100%. And at first, my first inkling was I'm going to pursue legal litigation. If I even had one, I don't know. I was going to look for an attorney and meet. But as I was praying, because as I say, you always pray and ask the Lord how to lead you and guide you in and through everything. I was praying, and I heard the Lord speak to me. Let it go. He just said to me, let it go. And so I said to my wife, I'm not going to do anything. I was praying, and I heard the Lord say to me, let it go. She goes, okay, if that's what you feel you need to do, that's what you feel He's leading you to do, I support you 100%. And so that I was filing for unemployment the first time ever in my life. Over 37 years of work, I've never filed for unemployment. I always had a job, and even if I left one job to go to another, I made sure that I had another job. I never just quit without knowing that I had something already, in line. So as I was filing unemployment, I'm looking at all the questions that they ask, and I'm like, wait a minute. And the enemy started playing with my mind. I was saying, wait a minute. Based on all the questions that they're asking me of why I was let go, was I ever warned, and all these things, and every question I answered no. Like and they were asking me, what was the reason that you were terminated, or your job was dissolved, and I put none given. And so anyway, so the enemy started playing with my mind and saying, wait a minute, maybe you do have a case, maybe you can go after this person, maybe. And so I started looking, and I was thinking about it, and you know what? A day or two later, I said to my wife, no, I'm not going to allow the enemy to do that. The Lord already pulled me away from that. Just as Lot's wife looked back, okay, the Lord is telling me, do not look back. So I choose not to look back. Instead, I look forward. So it reminds me of the account of Joseph, okay? And go read it. I believe it starts in Genesis chapter 37 all the way through the end of Genesis, which is chapter 50. And at the end, what does Joseph tell his brothers? What you meant for evil, God meant for good. And I also look at the account of Job. For some reason, the Lord has been pulling me to Job a lot the last week or two. And I've been saved for 14 years, and I never really had an interest in the book of Job. I think I read it once, between maybe around 2014 or so, maybe. I read it once, and it was kind of hard, and I really didn't have much of interest. But then my friend Carolyn, like 2 years ago, she loves the book of Job, and she mentioned it to me. And so I started diving into it. And while my eyes were open, I started seeing this account of this great man of God, okay, this faithful man of God, and how the Lord worked in his life. And you go read the book of Job if you haven't read it. It's a really beautiful book. And I believe that, as a matter of fact, I'm going to share something that I shared with a friend this morning. So the book of Job, as the Lord is leading me and pulling me to that, at the end, I see everything that Job went through, but I see how the Lord restored him, okay? The Lord restored Job. He gave Job 7 times more than what he had previously of what he had lost. So I'm looking at my experience in the last month or two, last month. I'm looking at it as the Lord is going to restore me, and he's going to restore me even greater than before. Not that I'm lacking now. I'm not lacking. I thank God for anything. And but I believe that the Lord is going to restore me. And not only that, I believe that the Lord is going to bless me, and he's going to make me successful on this path that I'm hopefully choosing to go on, which I do want to do, is, get into it. Right now I'm researching to see what it takes to be a motivational speaker, to be a public speaker. As I said, I believe I have what it takes, because my niece said to me, Uncle George, you don't get nervous. You can speak in front of 1,000, 10,000 people, and you don't get nervous. And I don't. It doesn't bother me at all. And I think that's the biggest key right there, is being able to speak in front of other people. And as I've been doing some research, I need to reach out to organizations that do this, like John Maxwell, and maybe dive into that and see how I can go about it. So, but anyway, pray for me and ask the Lord to give me guidance and direction in this. So I look at Job and how his friends, they were, saying, well, you must have did something wrong. You must have did something wrong. Why is the Lord, cursing you? Why are you being cursed? Why is all this happening to you? You must have did something wrong. And we see in the beginning what it was. It wasn't Job. It was just that, Satan, the Lord said to Satan, have you considered my servant Job? And I shared this with my friend this morning. Have you considered my servant Job? And Satan said to him, yeah, of course. He's going to be faithful to you. He's going to always love you. He's always going to be devoted to you because you blessed him. Look at all his blessings. Satan said, but I bet you if you take those things away from him, he's going to curse you. Okay, I'm paraphrasing, obviously. He's going to curse you. So God gave Satan permission to do whatever he wanted to Job, except for kill him. He said, you can't touch his body. You can't kill him. You can't take, because he did, his body was filled with boils and everything. So the Lord allowed Job to be tested, his faith, his loyalty to him to be tested by Satan. And I said to my friend this morning, we were texting back and forth, a beautiful young lady that I met. She's from Israel, so I haven't met her personally, but on social media we've been texting back and forth, and I don't know how old she is, but I know she's in her 20s. But I've never met somebody who understands Scripture. I truly believe that the Lord is with her and in her. I never met somebody who understands, excuse me, Scripture the way she does. I mean, I'm telling you, and I've watched countless preachers. I've spoken to countless, believers, people who've been saved from the 70s and even before that. And I've never seen the wisdom in any of them that this young lady has. And she knows the Old Testament really, really well. Those are her people. She's Jewish. She knows them very, really well, but she's a Christian too. So that's great. So I said to her, there are three types of people in this world. There are the Jobs, the people who are like Job. There are the Peters, and there are the Judas. Those are the three people. And let me explain to you. I said, I believe that just a few people, not too many people, are Job. Those are people who are faithful and loyal to the Lord no matter what. If they lose everything, as Job did, they always trusted in God. Even though Job's wife kept telling him, curse God and die. And he refused and he didn't. He never cursed the Lord. He always said, I know that the Lord has given me everything, and I know he has the right to take everything. So Job is a person who is devoted completely to the Lord no matter what. The circumstances does not change his faith, his reliance on God. Okay, so there are very few people in this world like that. And I said to my friend, I believe that you are one of the Jobs. And then there's a whole bunch of Peters. I consider myself a Peter. There's a whole bunch of Peters. And those are the people who love the Lord, walk with the Lord. 1 minute are faithful, loyal, living and dying for the Lord. And the next minute, we're living and dying for the world. I'm guilty of it. And I know most of you out there watching this are guilty of it. But the Peters are the people who are committed to the Lord, love the Lord, but we still live in this world, as Jesus said, when he prayed to the Father, not to take them out of the world, that they are of the world, but don't take them out of the world. But the Peters are people who, at times, are not obedient to the Lord, are sinful, which we all are. But the difference is, Peter denied the Lord 3 times, which most of us deny the Lord through our actions, through our words, through whatever we do, many times a day. Okay, so the thing is this, is that the difference is, as Peter did, Peter repented and he turned to the Lord and he asked him for forgiveness. But that's why we are a lot of Peters out there. Many of us will do that. We fail him, but we turn to him, we say, Lord, forgive us. And we, obviously name our sin, and he is rightful and just to forgive us. And then the third group is the Judases. The Judases are the people that no matter what deny the Lord. They continue to deny him. Even when they see their wrong, even when they see their sin, they continue to deny him. They rather go and hang themselves instead of admitting their need for Jesus Christ, for the Lord. So I pray that you would take whatever is happening in your life today, whether in your eyes it's something good, something bad, and don't look at it with a negative light, as Judas did. Look at it with a positive light, as Job did, as Joseph did, and even as Peter. And that you would say, Lord, I know you have a great purpose behind this. I may not see it right now, but I trust in you, just as Job did. I trust in you, just as Joseph did. And the Lord, through his love for you and your obedience and honoring him and admitting that your life is in his hands, no matter what is happening, he will deliver you from whatever you are going through. So I pray that this encourages you, that helps you, and that it will motivate you to know that whatever happens stays behind. I only look forward to whatever the Lord has planned for me. Anyway, I hope this helps you, and God bless you, and have a nice week.